Hey guys, just a reminder, this is not official medical advice. For such, please seek an appointment with a licensed medical provider.
Okay, welcome to another episode of Who's Who at Performance Medicine. I'm just kidding. That's a new show that we're coming up with. My name is Andy, and this is Bo, and we're here to explain some more stuff about medicine. But really, we just wanted to get together and talk about some fun stuff because we have noticed a trend with some labs, and so some of the stuff that we do in the office, we have one machine here in the Knoxville region and one machine in the Tri-Cities region, and this is an in-body scan. In-body scans are body impedance scores that test for muscle, fat content, water content in the body. So you kind of know where things are sitting in your body. And we like to do these in relationship to weight loss and weight gain. So we have noticed with Bo's in-body scan that there are some good changes, good things that we are wanting to see, things that people get scared about with weight loss, especially with incretin hormone related weight loss. This is a medical assisted weight loss with the semaglutide, tirzepatide, Ozempic, Mounjaros, that type of intervention. People get scared that they're going to lose muscle and they'll have muscle wasting instead of that. It's fat, it's weight loss at the expense of muscle. We have proven. We haven't. You have.
No,
I've
no.
proven nothing.
There's lots of stuff out there that has proven that minimal activity and correct nutrition you will not lose muscle mass.
You won't.
But we do have other things that you can do too to help prevent muscle loss, but you have to be motivated.
So what we have here is we have two, which we will put these up. It's either going to be edited into this actual video, or we'll have the before and after for patients, whoever's watching this video to view. We have proven and documented that you have experienced weight loss
A little bit
with muscle gain.
Yes.
So that is what we're trying to see whenever we implement with certain medical therapeutics, whether it's with hormones, with peptides. We want to see the bad stuff move in the right direction and the good stuff move in the right direction. So kind of take us through. We have a March and a May. So we had 2 months where you did some interventions. Mm-hmm. You were your own guinea pig, which most providers should be their own guinea pig. We should be trying this stuff to see what works for us, to see if it can work for
you end up having a personal relationship with the medications or peptides, whatever we're using, that we're prescribing to people, and we can say, this is what I got out of this. This is what happened to me.
This is how we can mitigate this side effect, and I've experienced it firsthand. You know, the Rogers family had guinea pigs too when we grew up. We had 3. And then we went on a trip and came back, and we had 27.
Oh, well.
No joke. Mom would just give us a guinea pig whenever we went to a friend's house, and they got a guinea pig. So, 27. But our own guinea pigs, like, we like to try stuff on us to say, I'm a big fan, for my personal, I love low-dose naltrexone, methylene blue. Used it for years, loved it, and I can see on data points where I have very low inflammation. Whereas a patient with type 1 diabetes, I should have high inflammation. Yes. So, Bo, tell us what you ended up experimenting with and what's worked for you.
Coming on to performance medicine, I did my labs, and I had some metabolic issues. This included high triglycerides.
Abysmal. It was really hard to look at. I just messed
and some other like metabolic inflammatory issues that were on there. And I've always kind of carried my weight around my abdomen. And the other thing that we check for is hormone levels, and my testosterone was lower.
Yeah.
On the lower end, let's say, and we kind of see a trend with that, with people my age, even younger or older. A lot of mine could have been contributed to working so many night shifts throughout my life, messing up cortisol levels and whatnot. And I didn't really have any symptoms per se that I knew of, but you're asking all these people all these symptoms, and I would kind of interview patients. Well, what did it do for you? What did it make you feel like? Did it do this for you? Or what's the key here? So I was like, let's try it. So I jumped in and started doing that, and then started trying to hone in on my nutrition a little bit better, working out a little bit better. And then, we did a lot with the GLP-1s. We know everybody's been hearing Dr. Rogers talk a lot about microdosing, and we'll get into that later. But, and I think that's a good thing. But what does that mean? So I wasn't like extremely overweight. I wasn't doing it particularly for weight loss, but just trying to dig myself out of this metabolic syndrome hole a
And you
little
even
bit.
said earlier, metabolically challenged, which
Yes.
is very interesting. And a lot of people, especially late 80s, early 90s growing up, we had very different nutritional standards. We were talking about that earlier, of like
Low fat diets, high carbs, and ultra processed
ultra
carbohydrates.
ultra processed foods. It was the quick foods. It was the Pop Tarts, Gushers, fruit by the foot.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone had a soda. All the desserts.
And that was better for you than any saturated fat.
Yes, and people got away from real foods.
Mm-hmm.
So we grew up in that time as kids, and then you couple that too with what the standards for work look like.
Yeah.
Working night shift, it just makes everything metabolically challenged, which I like. And so you started to. So we started
Testosterone.
and we started tirzepatide.
Mm-hmm.
So we had two that I like to go the big T's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We did the big T. We did the double T's right there to target adipose tissue while also stimulating the hormone that then innervates muscle. And two, you saw the results on the
Yeah,
implants.
and we advise everybody that's starting some of these GLP-1 medications to do an in-body so you can see, because what we don't want and what a lot of people have fear of is like, I'm going to lose my muscle. Or because that's what they've heard and they've seen people, I guess, in the media, on social media, highlighting people, oh, they're Ozempic face or
Right.
whatever this is. Is it? I don't know. Or are they abusing it and just taking it enough to not eating at all
Right.
and starving themselves? Yeah, that's what's going to happen. You're going to lose muscle mass. You're gonna look like that. We went to that conference. They called it a melted candle look, which is perfect.
Oh,
And that's what we don't want from people. We want you to eat. We want to get to a place where everybody calls it turning off the food noise.
right.
And it helps you choose the correct thing to eat when you're going to the pantry. Like, I want something sweet. I want to get this cookie. It helps you turn off the cookie noise and choose something better and more nutrition.
I also think it's a big thing. Like these are tools.
Mm-hmm. The
Testosterone
tools
is
in the
a
toolbox.
tool. Tirzepatide's a tool. Now, if you bring tools into your house and don't use your tools, your house is not going to be fixed. You'll have a bunch of really nice looking tools around there, but they're not going to do it for you. But they're going to motivate you to say, I can make the better food choices in a world that is very easy to make poor food choices. And two, testosterone can make you. It's a competitive drive.
Yeah.
That's a competitive drive that says I'm motivated.
And before I started tirzepatide, I was already starting to work out because I was getting that drive. And it makes you just want to do hard. Testosterone kind of gets you back to wanting to do hard things. I tell all of our patients when I'm trying to describe it, think about a teenage boy doing really stupid things. And it's just hard things, and it makes you want to push yourself a little bit harder, and you get through it, you recover faster in the gym, and you start to see gains. So, and what is that? It's motivating.
It's motivating, and that's the whole. I like to go back to what was the original purposes of these hormone receptors. Tirzepatide's not that is a synthetically made drug, but it targets a natural receptor that's in the body, the GLP-1 and GIP. So it's supposed to direct food going. It's supposed to direct traffic going through the gastrointestinal tract. It's supposed to sensitize insulin, and it's supposed to innervate the satiety hormone. So it's supposed to say, "I'm full, stop." And sensitize insulin that goes out and directs what it does with the food going through your body, and then how fast it goes through. Testosterone's competitive drive. It's go out, kill the saber-toothed tiger, bring it back to the family.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's not saber-toothed tigers anymore, but it gives you a drive if something were to happen like that. Yeah,
but
and the whole I even asked a lot of patients about this, the whole roid rage thing. If your levels are in a good spot, it actually makes you more clear and calmer.
Yeah.
It's not, it helps your brain function more correctly.
And with both of these things, with both of these interventions, and then we are going to get to some data points, because I think a lot of people talk about these things, but they don't necessarily see, hey, what's A to B? Which isn't necessarily true for everyone. A lot of it is how you feel as well. Yeah. But we're with the roid rage, too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
You can have too much of a good thing. You can be, I always like to say with patients that we try to get to A plus, but when you get to A plus 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 plus, I mean, you're gonna see the negative side of it. There is such a thing as too much.
Yeah, more is not always better.
More is
And
better
that's
at
with
point.
both. That's with hormone replacement and with the GLP-1s. Some don't just keep pushing it if you don't need to.
If you don't need to. So that's where I think
And that's the individualized dosing, microdosing kind of thing comes in.
and that's going to be our next episode. We'll break this up in 2 episodes to say, what have we implemented with to say, here's some fun data points to see that, hey, the negative stuff that you see about some of the tirzepatides, semaglutides, some of these incretin hormones, and hormone replacement therapy with bioidentical hormones, here's the good stuff with it. And here's how to do it well. The next episode, we're going to talk about microdosing. What microdose, or 2, we'll give a definition of microdosing, but what's tailored dosing, which I think is different. Tailored or custom dosing.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Go
ahead.
No, this is your body. Okay? Your body, your choice. If you look at this, so this is, I just think it's really important that you don't even have to see numbers on this. You'll get a printout of this, but if you look, so this is from March. You'll see too.
Kind of show them like we can show like that C curve, D curve, and what all you need to look for, not just the numbers. So right here, see, this is kind of that D curve on those numbers right there, and you do want to see that. A lot of people are in that C curve body type, to where your body fat is a little bit higher than your skeletal muscle fat, and those are just, like I said, don't concentrate or don't get so frustrated with numbers when you do these things. Look and see where there are areas of opportunity to improve on. And that's because when you're in that C type and you're trying to get to that D type body type, even in that straight line is success if you're coming from a C type.
And so from March to May, some of these numbers, and I know you just said don't concentrate on numbers, but we're just saying numbers so that you can see. You can see it visually.
And we do get a visceral fat number on these, and this is actually one of the most important numbers on this sheet, because visceral fat is what fat is invading your organs. Okay, so it causes disruption of how the organ can actually function and help you. So the less visceral fat you have, the better your body system runs.
So from March to May, you have decreased your visceral fat from 7 to 5.
And we consider 10 is a number to shoot for. So my visceral fat wasn't really that bad to begin with. So that was a good thing. I was happy about that. When I first did this InBody, I was like, okay, so I'm still in a type D as far as my weight, skeletal muscle, fat mass goes, and my visceral fat was below 10. So I was satisfied with that. I was okay with that. But like I said, my labs and other things, I could have improvement, and again, around my waistline could always have improvement.
Well, your body fat percentage went from 20.8 to 14.9.
Yes.
6% change. Your skeletal muscle mass, here's the interesting part.
This is the part that kind of really got highlighted.
You lost weight. So you lost weight from what? Are you okay with me saying?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
195.8 to 191.
So, like, overall weight loss was 4 pounds plus a little bit over 2 months, which is a good weight loss. You're going to keep that off. But it's the composition that you're really looking for.
The composition changed. Your composition changed that you had 40 pounds of body fat mass. So we're looking at fat down to 28.6. But you gained muscle. So you had 88.8 pounds of skeletal muscle mass to 93. So that's where the interesting part is, that you gained in the right spots, you lost in the right spots.
And that was kind of, that was eye-opening to me. I could tell things had changed. But, that's why we wanted to do this video, is when people are worried about starting some help with medication to kind of dig themselves out of this metabolic bind that they're in. Am I going to lose muscle? Am I going am I going to look like these people that are on social media? If you do the right things, no.
No.
It's not going to happen.
You even too, as we increase muscle, this is a very important thing. That the big thing about aging and the aging trajectory is that you want to keep muscle because muscle burns. So we have a higher basal metabolic rate with more muscle content, and our muscle content typically over the aging process decreases. So as you increased muscle, you also increased your basal metabolic rate of 1890 to 1966. This is what you burn. You just being
Sitting here.
So this is important for everyone to know that the more muscle content you do have, it does make a difference with what you do, with you just sitting more. It's almost like exercise begets exercise. You get more out of doing more.
Mm-hmm.
Same way with muscle. That the more there is, the more it does for you. So these numbers are insane. This is also too on your May recommendations. This gives you a kind of a spit out recommendation of like,
Yeah.
gain some muscle mass or lose some body fat. You have no recommendations on your May, and you had a few recommendations on your March. So I think this is encouragement. For me, it's not. I think it's more about, hey, yes, this needs to be for the individual. Not everybody has to be on these interventions, but these interventions don't have to be scary, and they're not necessarily a no for everybody.
And not everybody is going to go through this. Like, and everybody's body type's different. So different people have abilities to do different things with some medications that can improve themselves.
And a little bit can go a long way.
And I'm still on like small amounts of tirzepatide. Like, is it a microdose? I don't know. It's the dose that's working for me right now, and to be fully transparent, it's only 10 units, and I started at 6 units.
Yeah.
And I actually played around with a little too much at the beginning.
Yeah.
And went up a little early because I was like, I want to feel what this is. And I tell my patients this is what I did, and I went up to 8 units too early, and had the nausea.
Felt it.
Felt it 100%. I even asked my wife. I was like, I'm nauseous all the time, and I can do everything, and I'm not going to throw up. And I was basically just eating protein, and I said, "Is this what it feels like when you're pregnant and nauseous?" And she said, "Probably." So I had that experience with it. So I have been a little bit. I went back down, was a little extra careful because I didn't want that again. The other thing I've noticed with these medications, when you do veer off of your nutrition that you need the really high proteins. Stay away from all of your carbohydrates. It'll kind of punish you for the things that you shouldn't be doing.
You need real food.
Mm-hmm.
You need real food. And I've seen what you eat. We're at the office every day. Your nutrition
During the weeks, I do pretty well.
But your nutrition will also match with what's happening. So I think that these are really great tools. These are great tools. Just like what we said earlier. It's a sled to get you down the hill, but you gotta have that forward momentum to do it.
I guess another thing that people always ask us too, am I going to be on this forever? We don't know. It depends on what kind of metabolic bind you're in. And where do you want to go?
I feel like if we lived in a different country with different food sources, probably not.
Yeah.
But here in America, you may need it.
Have you manipulated the system enough?
Yeah.
And because it has to deal with your microbiome, what's your gut doing, and you see in social media too a lot of times that people, even from the functional world, kind of dog some of these tools a little bit, and I don't really believe that they're doing that for the tools. I think they're kind of going after big business and how much things cost. Because I always say, it's like, yeah, you could do all of this stuff without them, but you're not going to take somebody's blood pressure medicines away if their blood pressure's not good. It's kind of the same scenario.
I think too, it's choosing the right tool that's meant for you. And if it provides you benefit, go for it. But it's fun to see what this stuff looks like on data points. So we'll make these before and afters available so that you can look at them. And on our next talk, we'll just call this the talk, okay? The real talk. Yeah, I'm sure those are all.
And
we'll talk about microdosing.
And I took some sermorelin during this time for sure.
Yeah.
And because at first I was a little like, oh, I'm gonna lose muscle mass. I wasn't going to anyway, and I haven't been on it since. And I've been able to maintain and still make gains.
And these are great. So the sermorelin is a peptide that increases insulin growth like factor 1, and it's a growth hormone. So we're increasing growth hormone, which increases your muscle. It usually decreases belly fat. And these are all just, my big push is these don't have to be scary if you don't want them to be scary. And two, following to see where you are losing weight, if you're on a weight loss journey, seeing where you're actually losing it. These are good tools to say, hey, I'm losing these in a safe manner. I'm increasing what my muscle mass looks like. It's fantastic.
And also, these hormones, GLP-1s, it's not magic. You have to put in the work. You have to do the nutrition. You have to do the exercise. Does it help? Yeah. But like we said, a screwdriver doesn't work by itself.
No. And these
So you have to turn it.
Yeah. I think that's great. The house doesn't build itself, okay? But you get the tools for it. So join us next time. We're going to talk about some microdosing and what different tools that people are using and what actually those mean. So until then.
Don't go away.